Particularly in California, and particularly in Southern California with the high price of real estate. Very expensive to live here, and it's hard for young people to get started in life, harder than it was for me in my generation, I'm sorry to say. I see the same thing looking at my sons. They're having a hard time, much harder time getting started than I did. What do you think we could do for the youth to help them out?
Well,
because it's rough sledding to be in your 20s now, economically.
No, absolutely, Ivan. And I can tell you that one thing is that we need to make sure that all of our children give that level playing field. I think they all deserve an equal education. I would like to make sure that every student who wants to can go to college or at least a trade school. These are the things that make this country stronger. And I don't know why the Bush administration and David Dreyer has been voting for cuts in the student loan program. I don't understand why we can't have a national program where our youth has the capability of volunteering for 2 or 3 years for country service, whether it be locally or even internationally, and then go to school and let the taxpayers cover that expense. These are things that make this country stronger. We have a whole generation that may not be able to compete on a global scale.
That's the key thing, isn't it? I mean, the reason we can't cut back the student loans is because we need to encourage our young people to go to a college and university, and we need to raise the educational level of our labor force, particularly here in Southern California, because we're competing internationally with other countries where they're very smart and where they work hard. And if we want to compete with those people and win, we have to have a well-educated workforce. Isn't that true?
Absolutely. Right now, if you go to China or Thailand or any other country in Europe, they are educating their children to compete on a global scale, something that we don't seem to want to do. It's just something wrong with the school system. No Child Left Behind does not work. As I like to say, this administration, they give with the left and they take with the right every single time. No Child Left Behind sounded great. It didn't work. They didn't fund it, and our children were hurt because of it.
You know, Bill Clinton wanted to increase the average educational level of the American labor force by 2 years. This was part of his proposal, but when the Democrats lost control of Congress and the presidency, this could not be done during the Bush administration, Bush years. As a result of that, our labor force has not really improved its educational level. If anything, it's started to slip a little bit, not only relative to the rest of the world, but actually absolutely. And this is bad for our competitive status in the world.
Well, that's right. Matter of fact, it used to be a time when you'd go overseas and people found out you were American, they would come over and introduce themselves to you. Right now, today, we have a problem. This administration has been basically ruling by fear and intimidation until the last few months. And I believe that in this country that the Republican Party has used fear and intimidation to pull people down to a level that we never would go to, and they voted against their own interest. I believe that the Democrats are a party of leaders, and we want to lift people up to our level to make them stronger.
Now, we talked about youth, Russ. What about elderly? Do you think Social Security is in safe hands if the Republicans take power in the next election, if the next president is Republican?
Well, I do hope people realize that if we were to privatize Social Security, all we have to do is look what's happening with the mortgage meltdown. We have to look what happened to Stearns Bear, that going bankrupt, IndyMac. There's so many different things. We can't trust Wall Street because this is in our hands, and I think we need to keep Social Security for ourselves, make it safe.
What's your attitude toward Social Security? Leave it alone, mend it where it needs mending, or jettison it and sell it out to Wall Street?
Well, definitely not to Wall Street. Can you imagine how many people would have lost everything had they been with the wrong company? It doesn't make sense. This was just another example, the Bush administration trying to trick and fool people into giving up their hard-earned retirement dollars for risk. It wasn't for them, it was for large corporations.
Russ, we are down to about the last couple of minutes. Why don't you tell people a little bit about your campaign? For example, how they can get in touch with you, how they can help, how they can volunteer, whatever.
Well, I can tell you, I'm very, very fortunate. We have interns coming in every day from the different universities and high schools. We have 3 wonderful young ladies that are all gone now. The last one left yesterday. One was going to Harvard, one to Brown, one to NYU. These were just wonderful kids coming in, volunteering because they saw their future being jeopardized, and they wanted to make sure I was elected into Congress. And I'm just ecstatic about the time that they put in. But we are open right now, 7 days a week for the most part. Our office or headquarters is located at 837 West Foothill in Monrovia, California, right smack in the middle of the district. And if you want to contact us, you can either email us at Warner, F-O-R, warnerforcongress.com, or you can call us at 626-698-1468. And we need volunteers. This is a grassroots campaign. I have, like I said, I have put my heart and soul into this campaign. This is not a career change for me. This is my chance, my opportunity, along with yours, to represent you in Congress. And I'd just like to leave by saying one thing. In 1968, the first picture of Earth was taken from outer space. At that time, we had 3 billion humans on this planet. In 2050, we're going to have an estimated 10 billion human beings on this planet. The size of the Earth has not changed, but yet the number of people on this planet is over 3 times what it was. If we don't start doing something now, if we don't get it together with clean, renewable resources,
Yes.
we are in serious trouble. This is our legacy of us who are here now, today, so that our children, our grandchildren, and our great-grandchildren will not look back and say, what were they thinking? And Ivan, I really want to thank you for this. It's an opportunity. I'm not a career politician, and my heart is in this campaign. And you know what? David Dreyer knows it too. He also knows that he's at risk. He's done his poll. I've done mine. And that poll shows that we can win.
Well, I don't often quote President George Bush, but you remember when he was talking to his representative there, the person he put in charge of the Federal Emergency Management, he said, "You're doing a heck of a job, Brownie." Well, it turned out Brownie wasn't really doing a heck of a job, but you really are doing a heck of a job. I have to say that you're running a fair and honest and successful campaign like nothing I've ever seen before in this district. It's really a pleasure to see this happen, and it's, I must say I'm very impressed by the way you've taken charge and have made this happen. So you're really doing a lot for our district. We appreciate all that you're doing, all that you're putting on the line for us and for the people in this district. We appreciate that, and we're going to get out and we're going to vote for you on November 4th. Thanks very much for coming, Russ.
Thank you, Ivan, very much. It's a pleasure.